Alright, we're here at day 2 of Klutch Kickers. Qualified with a number 3 with a 90. Got us a buy run for the top 64, so now we're straight into the top 32 bracket, which is today. So we got an hour practice and then straight into comp, so we got to make the most of it. Don't have a lot of tires. The heat, I've gone through a lot more tires than I usually do here, and I have to conserve. I can't drive all that much because I will run out of tires if I do. Hey, we get to follow Ben. See how these tires are. They're very grippy. I've got them aired up to 21, but it's a lot of grip still. Might be too much, I don't know. Need to find out though. That's the other problem. I got 2 different tires. These are my grippier ones. I have some less grippy ones, which would be better to run for the first battle, but I won't be used to them if I don't run them for this practice. It's just confusing. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll see how it goes with these tires. I should be able to air them up enough to pull enough grip out to make it work. Not too much grip, so I can definitely run this grip level and we'll be all right. Well, my helmet cam kind of took a dive on us, so I'm going to narrate over some of this, which will be kind of fun. So anyway, we're following Chelsea Denofa, a good friend of mine, been friends with him for a long time. He actually got me my job at BC way back when. So I don't think I've ever followed him or tandemed with him. So I'm pretty excited to do a run with him. Let's see how it goes. So this round, I was trying to take it a little bit easier on the run-up, not try to jam it on people's doors in the first turn, but I kind of was taking it a little too easy. As you can see, he pulls like 3 or 4 cars on me on the end, and my car is normally really fast on the run-up compared to like a turbo straight 6 car, but what's interesting is I'm kind of having to pedal it as they're spooling, and then when they spool, they kind of freight train me. So this is not the best run I've ever done, a little sloppy. I just kind of, I don't know, I didn't really seem like I knew where he was going to be. He was putting it on the outside line and doing a super smooth lead, and I just wasn't following that lead in the way that I should have. So, yeah, after this run, I decided, you know what, I'm going to call it. I wanted to practice more, but I was running low on tires. The heat was killing my tires, absolutely demolishing my tires. And I was still having the clutch issue where the clutch kept grabbing higher and higher. I think I figured out what it is. I got to tear into it, but anyway, I didn't want to push my luck. I didn't want to break the car in practice and not even be able to compete. I figured we'll save it for the competition. We'll do what we can when the time comes, and hopefully it holds together. More practice isn't going to help us all that much. So Now we're getting ready to go up for our top 32 battle. So we're going up against a guy named George Thomas. He is a Monster Performance driver. They're a group pretty local to us in Central Florida. Bunch of good dudes, bunch of good drivers. They have similar cars and they drive a bunch. So I was excited to drive against him. I figured, that he'd have a solid lead. We'd have a good heads-up battle, no games, and that's all I can really ask for. So we're getting ready to go up. Let's see how it goes. I'm leading first because I qualified higher, so that gives me the advantage of knowing whether or not he did a really good chase and how hard I need to go in the follow. So I felt pretty good about my lead. I was a little sloppy through the first section of the track, and I go to radio my friend Justin, who's, he's not super big in the drifting, but I was like, all I want to know, I don't want to know crazy details. I just want to know, did they straighten, did they spin, were they a mile behind me, or did they put together a follow? I don't need to know any more than that because I'll overthink it. So radio wasn't working, so we pretty much just had to wing it anyway, which probably for the better. So we're lining up here to do our follow. My goal, again, this round was to not put myself in bad positions, and especially in the earlier battles, not get too close when I don't need to. Try to outshine the driver on my lead instead of trying to outshine them in the chase, and just run a conservative chase. So since I'm not trying to stuff it in his door on the first turn, I kind of just roll out with him, let him get a little bit of a gap, gives me some buffer room in case anything weird happens in this first section. This is the easiest section of the track to get caught out in. So as we get through here, I'm like, okay, we're in good shape. He's throwing down a super solid lead. He's at angle. He's on throttle. So we just kind of dive in and try to keep close with him, again, without taking too many risks. So his lead line's super smooth. You can see he gets to angle. He stays at that angle. He's not checking up. He's on throttle. Really could not have asked for more in a lead run. So that was an awesome. That was a really fun battle. Again, you can't really ask for more than just a good heads-up battle.
Congratulations, man. Moving on. Great job.
So because my helmet cam mic was not working, you couldn't really hear what I said, but we were both just congratulating each other, stoked on the battle. It was a really good, fun, clean battle, and we were just both stoked on the outcome. We ended up talking after, high-fiving, and to me that is what drifting is all about, and that's what comp drifting, what I love about it, and I love when it works out that way, where you just have a good, clean, fun battle, and win or lose, you walk away having had fun, So anyway, now we're on to the top 16. All right, we're going out for top 16 ceremonies. We got no back. We got Ethan, who I'm battling right there. Adam, somebody's behind him. Brian Lawman, Dimitri, Kevin Lawrence, Brandon McDowell, Louis Azardi. Chelsea's supposed to be here somewhere. Jonathan Nairn. A bunch of heavy hitters. A bunch of really good drivers in the top 16 today, so. So for our top 16 battle, we fortunately and unfortunately have another hometown homie, my buddy Ethan. Fortunately, because I know he's a really good, clean, smooth lead driver. I know I can trust him. I know he's not going to play games. So I know it's going to be a good battle either way, win or lose. And he was driving incredibly well all weekend. I mean, he was putting together these super stellar chases, super clean, smooth leads, running good high point qualifying lines. So I knew this was going to be a good battle. The downfall is it is a friend, so like one of us isn't going to make it through. There's no way for both of us to make it through. So that was the downfall. That was the only bummer. But again, I was excited because I knew it was going to at least be a good, fun, clean battle. So my lead run's going very smooth until this point. I tried to get a little wider and boom, I heavily dropped the tire on the outside of that turn. And I have not dropped the tire there all weekend, but of course when it matters in comp, drop the tire on the outside turn. Now that is a huge deficit. That is a huge deficit. If he doesn't make a big mistake in his lead, he is going to get the win regardless of our chases, because I would have a huge deduction for that one tire off in my lead run. So that is the tough thing about competition drifting, man. It's not like road racing or something where you can make a mistake and make up for it. If you make a mistake, unless the other driver does too, you're most likely done. And that's what people, I don't know if everyone realizes that about competition drifting. You got one shot. You don't get multiple chances. You have to be super consistent and nail it every single time. So anyway, now we're going up for our fall around. Let's see how it goes. So I know Ethan's car is a little slow off the line, so I just kind of wait for him to leave and try to leave with him and just try to maintain the gap on the run-up so I don't get pulled too hard. Again, I leave some space in this first turn, so right here, he drops that tire, and I remember at this point in the car, I was like, oh man, that means we have a shot. He dropped the tire on his lead, I dropped the tire on my lead, we got to go all out now, we got to go for it. So I'm trying to stick it on his door as best I can, right on him. As you can see, he always does put down really good leads. He does end up dropping a tire here, which I didn't even realize in the moment. I was like, why am I so inside? But it was because he was kind of hanging off the edge of the track. But regardless, it was still a super solid lead. He is a really good lead driver, and I love battling him. So we did manage to get the win, and we are on into the top 8. Whew. Things are heating up, boys. Things are heating up. So the winner of the battle that's happening right after my battle is who I will be going against in the top 8. And it's either Jonathan Nairn or Nick Novak. Both drivers that are really good, both incredibly fast cars. 800 horsepower, big tires, super fast cars. So we know we got to pull out all the stops. We put the big tires on, the 245s, try to air down, try to do whatever we can to make this little Miata keep up with some real gnarly, pro-level cars. All right, our next battle is against Jonathan Nairn. He won last round. Crazy fast car. I followed him in practice last round. Car was very fast, so I'm as gripped up as I've ever been in this car. I don't know how that's going to go. I might not even be able to keep the dang thing in drift, but we're going to do our best. His car is very fast, and we should be able to just stay committed. We're good? All right, boys. So we did qualify higher. I qualified 3rd this round, so I do get to lead first. Again, you get that little bit of strategy advantage. I know he's going to throw down a solid chase. It's going to be a weird world where he doesn't throw down a solid chase and stick it on my door, so it doesn't even really matter. All that I know is I'm going to have to go as hard as humanly possible when I follow him and throw down as clean of a lead as I can. So let's see what we can do here. Just going to wing it. That was about as solid of a lead as I could have possibly done. I was right on all the zones. Definitely can't be mad at myself for that lead. So all we got to do is just try to stick it to his door in the chase. I'm not going to jump him. I'm just going to leave with him. God, I got left. Jesus Christ. So if you'll remember back to when I said I'm not going to jump him, crucial mistake. Very crucial mistake. I also only aired my tires down to 18. Should have gone to like 12. I'd never ran these that low, and I didn't know how it was going to do, but man, you could see how fast this thing is. I should have gone with as much grip as humanly possible and done whatever I could to make it work. I mean, this car is an absolute monster. I've never felt so helpless in a tandem battle before. I was just flooring it, just panic forwarded it on the run up, like finally catch him by the end. Again, I'm on throttle, and then he's pulling away. I was just like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Like, what just happened? Well, that's over for me, boys. I should have jumped him. I didn't realize this car would be that fast on the run up. All right, we should be going up here any minute. Never followed the guy, Mike Pollard. He usually qualifies really high. Bunch of angle, a lot of smoke driver. Their car's grippy, but I definitely could have aired down. I think the heat just makes everything so greasy. Let this thing idle for a minute to cool down. So of the 4 drivers that get knocked out in the top 8, the 2 highest qualifiers get to battle for 5th place. So Mike Pollard, who's warming up his tires right now, he qualified 2nd, I qualified 3rd. He got like a 92, I got like a 90. So because we both qualified high, we both have kind of similar lead runs. This will be the first time I'm following first all day. And going into this battle, I was like, you know what, it's 5th place. It's not like if I lose this battle, I'll lose my chance to win the event. So we might as well go out, just have some fun, and throw down as if this was just another event where we were just trying to run doors. And you know, I was excited for this battle. I figured it'd be a lot of fun. Bad follow. I couldn't see him at the end, man. People ask FD drivers, like, how do you see through the smoke? You don't. Like, I transitioned, I was like, I'm really not sure if he's wide or inside, and then once I could see, I was like, oh, okay. So as I said before, this event, I decided to take it easy instead of going for that crazy 100-point chase. Just try to be conservative, not put myself in risky situations. As you can see on the run-up following him, you know, I let him leave me a bit. I short-shifted. So that's definitely something I've got to work on. I got to find that fine line between too hard and not hard enough, because here, especially once you get into like the top 16, it's all really good drivers. It's all really dialed cars. You can't really afford to leave anything on the table. So I really need to work on the early battles, taking it easy, and then making sure to really turn it up for the further battles down the road, jump them off the line, do whatever I can to just be as close as possible to them. And you got to take that risk if you want to win this event or podium or anything. But yeah, anyway, this was a super fun battle. I really enjoyed it, and we did manage to get the win and take home 5th place, the final podium spot. So I told Lee, he's got 24s on his Dodge. I was like, we got to take a picture of the trucks on semi-wheels together. Black Dodge 24s, black Ford 24s. Looks so sick. So sick.
A monster. Can we get a PA announcement for that guy?
Anyone have a monster for Chelsea?
Someone drank my Alex. I know.
All right, load it up. Fummins is warming up. Lock this door and we're gonna roll out. And having the Fummins build done really makes me want a nicer trailer. One thing at a time, boys. I do need to check. I noticed a coolant leak after we went to dinner, and the hose clamps were loose. Oh yeah, we're dry. All right, we should be good. It was leaking right there from the hose. But anyway, loaded up. Told myself before this trip, if the Fummins makes it here and back, no matter what happens here, it's a win. It's a successful weekend. So we got 5th. If the Fummins makes it back, I mean, it's gonna be a real successful weekend. So keep you guys updated. We're gonna hit the road. Well, what do you know, boys? The old Fummins build made it there and back in one piece. Not even so much as a hiccup. This thing performed flawlessly. We had that little leak from the lower radiator hose, which just required me tightening the hose clamp a little more. And really the only thing we had an issue with, which was really more of an annoyance, was the transcooler lines were kind of touching the oil pan occasionally. So you'd hit a bump, they'd shift, they'd touch the pan, you'd get a clacking noise inside the cab. But I mean, other than that, not a single issue. Not only were there no issues, but the truck it performed exactly how I hoped it would be when I set out to build it. I mean, I could mob at 80 up a hill, EGTs didn't get hot, coolant temp ran between 194 and 200. depending on your speed and the load, but never went above that. I mean, it was super quiet inside, super smooth, and super stable. I am really glad I went with the dually because, you know, like I said before, my main reason was the aesthetics of doing semi wheels, but it's crazy how much more stable and planted and just straight this thing cruises than my single rear wheel truck did with the same trailer. So, and that trailer does pull pretty well, but gooseneck with a dually, I mean, it literally, you feel the weight accelerating and stopping of the bigger trailer, but as far as like cruising down the road, the effect of the trailer on the truck, it literally feels like pulling my open trailer, you know, my single car open trailer. Like, it's wild. It's just effortless. And that was the whole goal of building this, was to have a tow rig that was effortless to cruise long distance, because, you know, I'm driving all the way out there myself. I'm running the whole event solo, changing my own tires, working on the car, loading and unloading, and then I'm driving back. So if the drive there and back is super exhausting, it just makes the weekend that much harder. So anyway, I'm just really glad it all worked out, and you know, it did good and performed exactly how I hoped it would. So that's awesome. And like I said, going out there, my only goal was to get there and back in one piece with the truck. You know, performing and podiuming and whatever was all secondary to that. So to also get 5th place, super awesome. We won $500, so not bad at all. Paid for entry fee, paid for probably most of the fuel to get up there. So I mean, hey, overall awesome weekend. I am so stoked on how everything went. I would say my only regret is in my battle against Jonathan Nairn. I wish I would have aired down more, because after driving the car with, I had 18 PSI in the tires, they definitely could have taken 10 or 12, and the car could have kept them spinning. So I wish I would have done that, and I wish I would have jumped him off the line. Not because I think it would have changed the outcome, not because I think I would have won or anything, but just for it to be a more fun battle, because his car is insanely fast, but he drives it with momentum. You see some people with the fast cars, and they'll floor it and go really fast, and they'll have to slam on the brakes, and then floor it and slam on the brakes, whereas he's fast, but he's also keeping momentum through the track. So I was honestly really excited to battle him, even though I knew it was probably going to be the hardest person I could battle there, just for that reason, because I knew it was going to be a heads-up battle, and I was going to be able to go all out in the follow. So I just wish I gave myself a better shot of going all out in the follow. But other than that, truck's dirty, got bugs on it. We still got some things to do to it, my clear cab lights, things like that. There's always work to be done. I want to take care of those trans-cooler lines and all that, but overall, 10 out of 10. Weekend went great. I could not be happier with how everything went. The event, the truck, the towing, everything. So yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap us up for this one, boys. I'll see you guys for the next one, but for now, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, goodbye.